sat through men with hearts that tore. No glass was raised, few words were spoke, it was on the days of yore. Few words unto a fellow man, or comrade tried and true. They spoke of deeds their fathers had done, and deeds they hoped to do. Then by the fire an old man sat, with hair as white as snow, sat listening with a pensive eye till the tears began to flow. He heard them speak of the three rocks, New Ross and Vinegar Hill, and at that name of 98 with pride his heart did fill. Then from the hob a stone he drew, and from the hole he took a shining blade with spear-like head above the pointed hook, saying, "Boys, look on your father now, and in his hand you'll see a trusty pike of 98 that fought for liberty. For the three rocks I crossed them first in fight against the O's. At Owlard next I turned its point against my country's foes. From Gory Town unto New Ross it flashed in every fray. Oh boys, that was a glorious fight, but oh, we lost the day. Now many and many the weary year has come and gone since then. Could I become a man once more, I would do the same again. Could I become a man once more, as young as one of ye, with my green coat and trusty pike, I'd fight for liberty. So then be true to Ireland's call, and never be dismayed. For another day like that will come when I am in my grave. Yes, another day like that will come, and when the fray begins, be true to those of 98, and old Ireland boys will win.
The autumn days are here again, and the night winds chilly blow. The woodlands turn to golden hue, and the harvest moons aglow. To hear again of days long past to come no more I know. When I mowed Pat Murphy's meadow in the sunny long ago, I see again the ocean and the distant sails afar, as the maidens in the meadows strike up dark Nagle. There was music sweet and tender in the winds that whispered low, when I mowed Pat Murphy's meadow in the sunny long ago. Where are those happy boys and girls who danced the gay quadrille or the singer who warbles sweetly the burning granite mill, to hear again at sunset where sweet Afton waters flow, as I mowed Pat Murphy's meadow in the sunny long ago. Those days are but a memory, like the snows of yesteryear. And when evening shades are falling all alone, I'll shed a tear. On my cheeks I'll feel the soft touch of the winds that whisper low, as I mowed Pat Murphy's meadow in the sunny long ago.
To emigrate to English style, to work and tile and well to accumulate. You do not know when there you go what lies in store for you. But take my advice and think twice, you join my Alpines crew. From Duncormick I sailed away all in the month of June, and the boats it spat and Holyhead it was in full view soon. The Camden town, sure I went down my work for to pursue, for to carry bricks and mortar mix all in my Alpines crew. Some digs to find my course did wind as night was drawing near, and as I read each notice said no cultures wanted here. How did they know that to me while lately bidded you, and in Camden town of high renown I had joined my Alpines crew. Oh, in Haylands, some time elapsed, and then at last the Cockney took me in. Oh, the grub was bad, but I was glad I dare not make a din. Such fare was tough, but good enough for lads like me or you, who sail from home and cross the foam for to join my Alpines crew. In hail and snow, should to work I go each day that God did send, for to make a bob and keep my job on this I did depend, until at length it broke my strength, consumption followed too. A lonely man lying in the sand, far from my Alpines crew. 1 year had passed, and now at last here I am back home once more. Thank God I'm well, the truth to tell, much wiser than before. Oh, Camden town, on you I frown, no wonder as I do. But in God's own land I'll take my stand, and I'll curse my Alpines crew.
Good old Paddy.
I know the minute you're going to be home. The golden sun came bursting through the morning mist, and every hedge and field and stream was by it warmly kissed. It marked the beginning of a most momentous day, for the neighbours all had gathered to build our rick of hay. They assembled in the haggard, they came from near and far, and were given mugs of porter from a great big yellow jar. Like athletes a limbering for a most momentous day, they readied with their pitchforks for to build the rick of hay. The hay tarts went cavorting like ducklings on a pond, and they ferried home the buxom wines from the meadows far beyond. You never heard such lingo, so colourful and gay, as the architects went planning how to build the rick of hay. The cows got all excited when they smelt the pastures new, so we locked them in the paddock where pandemonium grew. The sheepdog went frenetic and in a coma lay, but then he always got the fits when we built the rick of hay. For every man who plied a fork there were two to tell him how, and they spoke with all the wisdom which strong Guinness could endow. And so it rose in splendour. Wonderful in display, you never saw the equal of our lovely rick of hay. And what a luscious dinner, pig's head and cabbage white, and laughing new potatoes that never saw the blight. And then the last words of grace were said, bless us, O Lord, we pray, bringing all the best from heaven on our lovely rick of hay. Ah, what a glorious sight as the sun went sinking down, and the haze in golden rays caressed its rush-capped crown. And when the last sou-gone was tied, I heard a farmer say, praise God, right here again next year we'll build this rick of hay. Ah, those halcyon days are gone, alas, you never see such crowds no more. And many of the harvesters have since sailed for heaven's shore. 'Tis the tractor and the baler now, and contracting come to stay. Just a faded halo marks the spot where we built our rick of hay.
And rearranging the scenes we knew where we reached our prime. And sorry, as I said, this is a new song I've written myself, and I have to look at my
Why do you keep the page out?
Sorry about that now.
Not off again. Thank God did someone else forget.
Always are changing. No, that's wrong. Okay. Sing the other song. Sing the other song.
You better practice that one in the
I'll
meantime.
keep this for the next one. Say it like this.
I know.
Walking all the day near tall towers where falcons build their nests. On silver wings they fly, they know the feel of freedom in their breasts. So blackhead against the sky, its twisting rocks they run down to the sea. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunset at the moor, and stood by your Atlantic sea, and sang a song for Ireland. Talking all the day with true friends who try to make you stay, and telling tales and news, and singing songs to pass the night away. Saw the Galway salmon run, its silver glistening, dancing in the sun. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunset at the moor, and stood by o'er Atlantic sea, and sang a song for Ireland, drinking all the day in old pubs where fiddlers love to play. I heard one draw his bow, he played a reel which seemed so grand and gay. Stood on Dingle beach and cast in wild foam, we caught Atlantic bass. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunsets as the moor, and stood by your Atlantic sea, and sang a song for Ireland. Dreaming in the night, I saw a land where no one had to fight, but waking in your dawn, I saw you crying in the morning light, lying there where eagles fly their silver wings against your clear blue sky. Living on your western shore, saw summer sunset as the morn, and stood by your Atlantic sea, and sang a song for Ireland.
Night as I lay dreaming of pleasant days gone by, me mind being bent on rambling to Ireland I did fly. I stepped on board a vision and followed with the wind, till the next I came to anchor at the cross of Spancil Hill. It being on the 23rd of June, the day before the fair, when Ireland's sons and daughters in crowds assembled there, the young, the old, the brave and the bold, their duty to fulfill, at the parish church of Fluey, not a mile from Spancil Hill. I went to see my neighbours to hear what they might say. The old ones were all dead and gone, the young ones turning grey. I met with the tailor Quigley, he's as bold as ever still. Sure he used to make me bridges when I lived at Spancil Hill. I paid a flying visit to my first and only love. She's as fair as any lily, as gentle as a dove. She threw her arms around me, saying, Johnny, I love you still. Sure, she's Meg the farmer's daughter, the pride of Spancil Hill. I dreamt I held and I kissed her as in the days of yore. She says, Johnny, you're only joking, me love, as many the time before. The cock, he crew in the morning, he crew both loud and shrill. I awoke in California, many miles from Spancil Hill. Green are the fields that are washed by the Finn, and how grand are the homes that those spiders live in. How fresh are the crops in this valley to see, for the heat is the home of the wild Rapparee. Sure he finds his lone home there among the wildfowl. No one dare to welcome
no comrade has he. Oh, God help the poor outlaw, the wild Rapparee. He has robbed many rich of their gold and their crown. He has outrode the soldiers who hunted him down. A life he has boasted, they'll never catch me. Not a swordsman will capture the wild Rapparee. Now this morning those swordsmen returned from the field, and the sword of the leader was gone from its sheath. Its bright blade was dripping with red blood to see. From the head of the outlaw, the wild Rapparee. There are clouds all around like a mantle tonight, and the hair shakes his den as he trembles in fright. No stars in the heavens, no moon can we see. They're in mourning tonight for the wild Rapparee. There's a stone-covered grave on a bare mountainside. There's a plain wooden cross where these words are inscribed. Dear stranger, kneel down, say an Ave for me. I was sentenced for being a wild Rapparee. I was sentenced for being a wild Rapparee.
Stop talking, Dawes. I heard you coming.
Well, it happened out in Drinagh, not far from Wexford town. Ned Comfort, he was worried that his trade was going down. Then the mummers came to practice, and soon there came the call. Why don't we get together, boys, and organise a ball? The first thing to do was get the printed tickets out, spread 'em round the area, and get the fivers in. Then practice like hell, the figures and the steps throughout, and do a deal with Ned for grub and that great evening, with Nick Kinsella on the fiddle, Pat and Tommy Hayes, Dermot Kelly on guitar, home from Antipodes. The bar seats were running up and the moisture down the wall, while sure hadn't we the gaiety at the Drinagh Mummers Ball. There was no. First of all, Pat Fortune got out for to explain how each mummer there would represent a famous name. Characters from history like Theobald Wolfe Tone, Father Murphy and John Kelly, who were two of Wexford's own. Then the what's the tune? And the boys marched on with the greatest of vitality. Their striking and figuring was timely, crisp and clear. Long Joe and Little Ted, the essence of frivolity, while Tom and Willie Rossiter were getting into gear. There was Mrs. Dower and Mrs. Power and Mrs. Murray too. Bob and Kitty Connolly appeared as if on cue. Joe White, Mrs. Carberry and Tom Fitzpatrick Tall were cutting capers on the floor to join the Mummers Ball. Josie and Tom Kehoe figured with the best of them, with fancy steps the Scallons had never seen before. Half-sets, waltzes and sambas came alike to them, and every time the music stopped they shouted out for more. With Nick Kinsella on the fiddle, Pat and Tommy Hayes, Dermot Kelly on guitar, home from Antipodes. The bar seats were running up and the moisture down the wall, oh sure hadn't we the gaiety at the Drinagh Mummers Ball. Then the Brothers Hall from Owenstown got out to show us how 'twas poetry in motion, I'm going to tell you now. They pranced the masons' aprons to the sound of great applause, till a lady from the audience got up to help their cause. Frank Murray played to the best of his ability, Dials and Summerses got up to do their share. Making Nancy Fanning showed no signs of debility, and Bernie made 2 speeches that were eloquent and rare, with Nick Kinsella on the fiddle, Pat and Tommy Hayes, Dermot Kelly on guitar, home from Antipodes. I hope the mummers keep their health, and likewise both the halls. Sure, if we hadn't got the mummers, sure we couldn't have the balls.
I seen the Monty Chan. No, sorry, that's not the wrong second verse. I dreamt but last night, oh, bad says to my dreaming, I'd die if I thought it would e'er come to pass. I dreamt whilst the tears down my pale cheeks were streaming, that Teddy was courting another fair lass. But didn't I awake with the weeping and wailing? The pain of that dream was too much to conceal. When mother cried, "No, the child, what is your ailing?" But all I could utter was Teddy O'Neill. I seen the mud cabin, he dances wild jigs in, as neat a mud cabin as ever was seen. Considering we used to keep poultry and pigs in, I'm sure it was always kept elegantly. But now all around it is cold, sad and dreary, all sad and all silent, no piper, no reel, not even the sun through the casement shine clearly, since I lost my own darling boy, Teddy O'Neill. I shall never forget when the big ship was ready, the moment had come for my love to depart. How I cried like a spalpeen and said goodbye, Teddy, with a tear in my eye and a stone at my heart. But he said 'twas to better his fortune he'd wander, but what could be gold to the joy I should feel if he'd only come back to me honest and loving, for still my own darling Teddy O'Neill.
Only the midnight sun by the men who march the goal. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam Magee. Now Sam Magee was from Tennessee where the cotton blooms and blows, why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole. God only knows. He was always cold, but that land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day we were pushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold, through the parka's fold it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we'd closed and the lashes froze, and sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam Magee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel to toe, he turned to me and, "Cap," said he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess, and if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of moan, "It's this cursed cold, and it's got right hold, and I'm chilled right through to the bone. Yet it ain't been dead. It's my awful dread of an icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Our pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. But we hurried on to the streak of dawn, and God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam Magee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, driven with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate my last remains." Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet place seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. And the trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and the derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice. It was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought of it. Then I looked at my frozen chum. And here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just roared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you'd seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam Magee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the winds began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. God only knows how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear. But the stars came out and they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked. And at the time I looked, and the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm on the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm." There are strange things done beneath the midnight sun by the men who boil for cold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam Magee.
Was in Carrigfergus, only for nights in Ballygow. I would swim over the widest ocean just for one night in Ballygow. But the ocean's wide and I cannot swim over, nor have I wings that I might fly. But I'll find me a trusty boatman to ferry me over, my love and I. Well, in Kilkenny I've heard report tell that they have marble there as black as ink. On gold and silver I would support her, but I'll sing no more now till I get a drink. For I'm drunk today and I'm seldom sober, a fine rover from town to town, but I'm sick now and my days are numbered. Come all you young men and lay me down.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen on the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come me back when summer's in the meadows, or when the valleys hush and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadows. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But come me back when all the flowers are dying, or when I'm dead as dead I will maybe. You'll come and find the place where I am lying, and you will sing an Ave there for me, and I shall ease though soft you tread above me, and on my grave most warm and tender be. You'll come to me and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me.
And I've been down on the ground, and that's where to pass if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. At the age of 16 years, only quarrel with his peers, who vow they'll never see another woman. Through the dark recess of the mind, where you age before your time, and the cold dust lies heavy on your lungs. It's the working man I am, and I've been down underground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down Until gently lead you by the arm in the dark recess of the mind. Oh, he'll take you back in time, and he'll tell you of the hardships that were had. It's a working man I am, and I've been down on the ground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun over any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. It's the working man I am, and I've been down underground, and I swear to God if I ever see the sun over any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. This proud old woman did say, I have 4 green fields, each one was a jewel, but strangers came and tried to take them from me. But my heart strong son, they fought to save my jewels. They fought and they died, and that was my grief that she, long time ago, said a fine old woman. Long time ago, this proud old woman did say, there was war and death, plundering and pillage, my people stand by mountain, valley, or sea, and their whirling cries, they shook the very heavens, and like cold green fields ran red in rocks and trees. What have I now? Said a fine old woman. What have I now? This proud old woman did say, I have 4 green fields, one of them's in bondage, in strangers' hands, that tried to take them from me. But my sons and prayers were their fathers, and my 4 green fields will bloom once again, said she.
What are you going to do?
He's going to take the binder. Out, Daddy, out, Daddy. String him up. String him up.
Now, all down the north. There is one great invention, and it is my intention, in song, for to mention, so listen a while. There is one great invention, it is my invention, in song for to mention, so listen a while. In fact, it's essential. There is what? That's right.
You got it?
It's a great song about binder twine.
Yeah.
There is one great invention, and it is my intention, in song for to mention, so listen a while. With mighty potential, in fact, it's essential to carry it with you, whatever your style. For farming 'twas made, but will suit any trade. It comes in 3 colours of simple design. You may cut it to size when the need it arises. That mighty invention they call to praise it when firstly designed. They wrote about engines of great complications. There are thousands of books by Professor Einstein. But I cannot relate to his complex equations. I'd rather be praising the old binder twine. You have heard of the builders of Egypt's great pyramids, how they struggled for ages on these steep inclines, how these rocks of great tonnage they shifted with courage and pushed them and shoved them till they were in line. 'Twas the slaves did the labour, all tied up together. With the weight of these chains, sure they must have been crying. Sure they would have worked faster if only their master would have tied them together with light binder twine. Now excuse my transgression, for I have been digressing, but I have a confession, and it is no lie. Last year on the road between home and Sligo, that's where it lies, me fan belt gave o'er and my wife she did sigh. They say for repairing this great complication, a good pair of tights sure to do it just fine. But the wife didn't have hers on this sad occasion, so I had to repair it without binder twine. Now the final dimension to this great invention, it's used as prevention by farmers for gates. The cows, they respect it, and the crows, they detect it, and never will cross it for fear of their fate. For tying in a hound, or for squaring out ground, or for howling up trousers that are in decline. Such versatile uses are surely exclusive to this mighty invention they call binder twine.
And I'm weary of this life. I'm sick in the head and a living dread since I took myself away. 'Twas that dirty old man called Blood-and-Nose Dan who caused me all that pain. I met him last week, the hairy old creep, at the horse trail at Castlemaine. He was having a drink at a nasty old gig in the Slasher Morn's bar. He had 2 red eyes like great mince pies and hair like molten tar. The nasty old thing kept rubbing his chin as he looked me up and down. "Me dad," says he as he looked at me, "you're a stranger in this town. I can see you're a decent sort of a man. And a bachelor or two I loan. I can see by the tear in the arse of your pants that you live all alone. Your coat and shirt is slick with dirt, your shoes all caked with clay. You're a lucky man that Blood and Nose Dan is here in this pub today. Now I looked at him in a kind of a trance as I drank me whisky straight. His two red eyes seemed to hypnotise like a mongoose picking a snake. He drank his glass like a hungry ass and then he threw me a horrible smile. He blew his nose as he came up close and he says, "Listen here a while. I have a daughter called Mary Ann Kate. She's as pretty as new mown hay. She's straight in the leg and dark in the head and bright as a newborn day. She's willing and neat and she's mighty sweet and she's a darling to me life. If you gives me £100 right now, you can make her your loving wife." Now, I've always been a cautious kind of a man, and I've saved for the rainy day. But it's a lonesome old life, without a good wife and no one to make the day. Now, Mary Ann Kate, so trim and neat, would fill the bill, no doubt. Like a hungry weed, she quivered with greed, he quivered with greed as I counted the money out. "Be at the church next Sunday and be on time," says he. "I'll have the lovely Mary Ann Kate there waiting patiently. Her legs will be clean. She'll wear vanishing cream. She'll sluice her body down. You'll be the envy of every man from Listowel to Tralee Town." The altar shone in the morning sun as I stepped up to the rail. There I spied me vision of pure delight, all shrouded in a veil. "Will you take this darling girl and treasure her all your life?" Like hares we sped to the bridal bed, myself and the lovely wife. Now I sat myself in the parlour chair when she went up to the room. Like a little boy who was feeling shy as I thought of the honeymoon. Like a heifer in pain she called my name and the blood rushed to my head. Oh, passionate sin, you should see the thing that was sprawling in my bed. Her eyes, they shone like burning coals as she raised a hairy paw. One lonesome tooth like a gooseberry root hung beneath her hairy jaw. She drew me close, and her long red nose with passion began to pour. I gave a yell and ran like hell out of that bedroom door. Now, the Irish blessings. May that hairy crater shiver and shake till the devil hears him shout. May the seagulls and crows peck at his nose and pull his eardrums out. May he choke with thirst. May his eyeballs burst. May his belly rack with pain for the bloody trick he played on Pummy at the horse race.
Sure, there's none can compare You'll see the high rocky mountains on the west coast of Clare. Sure the town can be seen from the high rocky slopes of the It's a nice place to be on a fine summer day. Watching all the waters run, burning hay. Sure the hair and lofty pheasant are quite grey to see.
Give him a whole sleeping car. Give the two boys the beds. What about it? We've done it before. Fairly well. And so I'm never, I am leaving behind to the streams and the meadows where the maidens have been, and the fine rocky slopes from the crystal. John, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Bit of order. What's in the Paddy?
Oh, she stands 6'4" and the waist of mine would make three. And whenever I'm standing beside her, through me elbow to my knee. Patsy McCann, will you marry me, daughter? Oh, Patsy McCann, she's the girl to wed. 10 golden sovereigns down I will give you. 3 stool and a 5 feather shed. 10 peters, 10 ball and 10 iron, and all the pictures that hang on the wall. And we'll throw them all into the bargain if you marry me, daughter. I'm now married to Big Bridget Hogan, and she's mine now for better or worse. Instead of a blessing she brought me, it appears to be more like a curse. Oh, she kicks me and she boxes me and she bites me.
Paddy.
And she ties me this I'll run away. And me 6'4" beauty is a caution. And her old one was what to say. Patsy McCann, will you marry me, daughter? Patsy McCann,
We'll have a big flag, John.
three-legged stool on the fine bed.
St. Peter, St. Paul, and St. Patrick, are the pictures they hang on the wall. Church roll them all into the bargain. They marry me, daughter.
Get the biggest one.
Tune up.
You want to sing a song? Give us comment. Now it's your stand. Yes. Go on. Go on. Give us that right. Go on.
One spoon's out and show $1.
Oh, Peggy, God, I wish I was away in England, or far across the deep blue sea, or sailing on the western ocean, and wishing Peggy Gordon with me. I wish I was in some lonesome valley where womankind cannot be found, and the pretty small birds do change their voices, and every moment a different sound. I lift my head to a cask of brandy, as it is my custom I do declare. For when I'm drinking, you know I'm not thinking of Peggy Gordon, the one that I love. Oh, Peggy Gordon, you are my darling, 'cause they do down upon my knee, and tell to me the very reason why I am sated so.
Down in the valley up, in the bog there was a hole, rare hole, rattling hole, hole in the bog, in the bog, in the hole, in the bog, down in the valley up, oh, rattling hole, down in the valley up, oh, rattling hole, down in the valley up, in the bog there was a tree, a rare tree, in the bog, in the bog, in the hole, in the bog, down in the valley up, oh, rattling hole, down in the branch and the branch and the tree and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley.
After this one.
Down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh. On that tree there was a nest, a rare nest, rattling nest in the twig and the twig and the branch and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh. Well, in the nest there was a bird, a rare bird, a Scotland bird in the nest and the nest and the twig and the branch and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh. In the bird there was an egg, rare egg, a rattling egg in the bird and the bird in the nest and the tree and the branch and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh. In the egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird in the egg and the bird in the nest and the twig and the branch and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh. Well, on the bird there was a feather, a rattling feather, and the bird in the egg and the bird in the nest and the twig and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, down in the valley, and on that bird there was a flea, a rare flea, rattling flea, and the feather and the bird in the egg and the bird in the nest and the twig and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, down in the valley, oh. Well, in that flea there was a rare crab, a rattling crab in the flea and the feather and the bird and the egg and the nest and the twig and the branch and the tree and the hole in the bog down in the valley, oh, down in the valley, oh. Stop it now. Down in the valley, oh. Well, in that crap there was a maggot, a rare maggot, a rattling maggot. Oh, the maggot and the flea and the maggot and the crap and the crap